So I know I am so very late to this party, but you may have seen that the CIA and the US military the US Army put out these recruiting ads, and they're all about wokeness and rainbowness and like, I'm a gay soldier, I had two moms, and all this other stuff. And it's really kind of cringy because if you know anything about the CIA or the US military, these are not like woke places, right? I mean, they kill people, and oftentimes they're killing people who are black and brown, and and to preserve U.S. hegemony overseas, or they're toppling governments where there are more liberal movements and things like that. So a lot of it just feels really fake and cringy, and it's cartoonish, and they say things like, "Oh, I didn't have a purpose before this, so I'm going to operate, death machines or whatever." To find my purpose. So all that's really cringy. So you can look them up. Just look up CIA woke ad or US Army woke ad, and you'll see them. They're like 3 minutes long each, and they're just gross. But the question becomes like, why? Why would this be done? Like, why would an institution as disgusting as the US military and disgusting as the CIA actually create these types of ads? Like, why would they do it? It doesn't make sense. Or does it? Okay, conspiracies aside, or weird looks at the camera aside, the reason they're doing this, by the way, is essentially because they have made a decision that this is where the country is, right? So these are recruiting videos, right? Essentially, think about them as advertisements. So think about corporate advertisements, right? A lot of corporate advertisements in recent years have gone woke, and companies change their logos for June to like rainbow flags, and they celebrate Juneteenth now and all these other things. Lots of symbolic stuff going on. And I talked about the limitations of symbolic victories in another video, so I'm not going to rehash that. But why would companies do this, right? Why? Why would they do this? If it's just a corporation, like, what's their game? What do they want? Well, so the answer is actually quite simple. These corporations and the US military and the CIA believes or sees that this is the page the majority of the country is on, right? The majority of the country, respects or tolerates or appreciates diversity of some kind, right? Like, that's why Nike hired Colin Kaepernick, after his scandal with the NFL, where the NFL was clearly wrong, by the way. I'm not saying scandal to say like he was bad. The NFL clearly in the wrong there. But that's why they do it, right? They see, hey, we need to attract more people to our brand. And by the way, even though there's not as much money involved, or there's not money making involved for the CIA or the US Army, it's a branding game, right? It's all a branding game. These companies and organizations say, we need more eyeballs, we need more people, we need more boots on the ground, we need more people engaging with us in some way, whether it's recruitment, whether it's buying our product, whether it's going to our website, sharing our videos, whatever, right? All this is a large branding exercise where the company or the organization has said, we believe, or we have done research that shows most of the country is in this particular place, where wokeness, for lack of a better term, is in, for lack of a better term. So that is prompting their decision to try and mimic these things that they think people like, because if people like the message that's being sent, they're going to interact with the product, whether it's a product that you buy, or recruitment, or sharing videos, or whatever it's going to be. So in some sense, this is actually a great thing to see that lots of organizations and lots of companies are essentially saying, hey, we know that the country has moved so far on this liberal track that it is acceptable and actually preferable to make these demonstrations of our appreciation of diversity, right? So in some sense, it shows that, hey, the people who've been fighting for diversity to be a positive thing, or for diversity to be welcomed or loved or whatever, insert positive thing here. Hey guys, you won, right? You did the thing. Now, diversity is so ubiquitous that even terrible, disgusting organizations like the US Army and the CIA are like, hey, we can probably get more people if we pretend to love gay people. Which, like, okay, great. Or you know, anyone on the LGBTQIA plus spectrum. I'm not, you know, I don't need to use gay pejoratively or any kind of way. But like, these organizations, these corporations, they're still not your friend. Just so you're aware. I'm sure all of you watching already know this, but their practices, they're not practicing what they preach, right? So they say diversity is good, they say all these other things, but the truth is, at the end of the day, you know, unless these organizations have taken serious steps to curb their behavior, like not bombing brown people for funsies or for oil, or not overthrowing the governments of smaller countries in order to satisfy the resource demands of the United States, they're still your enemies, okay? And by the way, for the U.S. Army and the CIA specifically, there's another interesting point here that was brought to my attention by Lee Camp from Redacted Tonight. Oftentimes, these soldiers and agents are going into countries to blend in, right? So they can't all look like me, you know, a tall white Jewish kid. So yeah, they need people who speak different languages. They need people who behave different ways, who are diverse in their thoughts and perspectives, because they have to execute missions in places that aren't America, where not everyone looks like me. So that's one of the reasons they're doing it too. But so I think it's, in some ways, it's like, yay, because the majority of the people in America seem to be on board with diversity. But on the other hand, like these organizations are really trying to show us they're woke. They're not woke, okay? So just so you know, if you want to see those videos, just look them up on YouTube. They're gross. I don't really know why you'd want to look them up. But if you just want to see what's going on with them, feel free to do that. But I hope I've explained to you like why this is happening and why it's bad.